Brexit took its most monumental leap forward last week as the EU passed Boris Johnson's withdrawal agreement and the UK left the bloc, 4 years after the vote. However, experts believe the country will eventually rejoin, thanks to the younger generations. Brexit took place last week, as the government and EU passed a withdrawal agreement in time to separate the country from the bloc on January 31. The event casts officials into a year-long process of negotiation, in which they draw up trade and policy agreements which will define the future UK-EU relationship. By the end of 2020, the government hopes the UK will separate from the EU with a lucrative trade deal and clearly defined relationship. Boris Johnson and government officials insist what follows is a period of opportunity, whereby the UK should see continued growth and investment. However, there will still be groups of people mourning the country's exit from the bloc. Among them are those who grew up under EU membership. Younger generations experts believe may eventually lead the UK back into the bloc. Boris Johnson and government officials insist what follows is a period of opportunity, whereby the UK should see continued growth and investment. However, there will still be groups of people mourning the country's exit from the bloc. Among them are those who grew up under EU membership. Younger generations experts believe may eventually lead the UK back into the bloc. In that situation, why would you abide by the rules but have no say in how they are made if you could be a full member of the EU club, with full voting powers? That said, the EU might try to make future membership conditional on joining the euro, joining the Schengen Common Visa Area and not granting any kind of budget rebate. Given that the UK would then be applying from a weakened position, I could not see it extracting these kinds of concessions in future. In the immediate aftermath of Brexit, European leaders have called for the UK to stay closely aligned with the EU's laws rather than aim for full autonomy. Emmanuel Macron told the European Commission it must tie the UK to EU rules forever as transition talks continue. According to the Daily Telegraph, France wants to toughen the EU's negotiating mandate and have the UK agree to dynamic alignment. The process would mean the country stays closely aligned with the bloc when it comes to rules for tax, state aid, the environment and social. Britain would then have to change its rules to mirror Brussels as they shift. In a draft mandate published on Monday, the EU proposed the alignment in a call for level playing field guarantees. Boris Johnson, however, declared there was no need for the UK to accept EU rules in a future deal. He said, there is no need for a free trade agreement to involve accepting EU rules on competition policy, subsidies, social protection, the environment, or anything similar any more than the EU should be obliged to accept UK rules. The EU's chief negotiator Michel Barnier clamped down on the Prime Minister, reminding him of a very important declaration he made to stay true to EU rules on subsidies and standards.